You know we love to get our hands dirty with some really fascinating research, and well, this one is no exception.
Definitely one of the more interesting papers I've read recently.
Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of UAPs.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, you know the drill. Unidentified anomalous phenomena. But hold on to your vats, because this isn't your typical alien conspiracy theory.
Not even close. This one's grounded in some pretty serious science.
We're talking about the research paper, UAP Extraterrestrial Life Plasmas.pdf. Catchy title, right?
Rolls right off the tongue.
It's by R. Joseph, published just this year, 2024. And get this, it suggests that many UAP sightings could actually be explained by, get ready for it, plasmas.
Yeah, like the stuff that makes those neon signs glow.
Exactly. But hold on, it gets way more complex than that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
This isn't your average high school science class plasma we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it this way. These plasmas are like gases, but they've been supercharged with energy. They're electrically charged, and that makes them act in some really weird ways.
Okay, so we're not just talking about your average static cling here. We're talking about something with some real kick.
Oh yeah, we're talking about stuff that can make those 90-degree turns at supersonic speeds, stuff that can merge and split and even seem to disappear and reappear at will.
Hold on, disappear and reappear. Now you're just messing with me, right?
Nope, I'm serious. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This paper dives into some really compelling evidence, like actual NASA space shuttle footage where you can see these things zipping around.
Okay, wait a minute. So you're saying there's video evidence of these plasmas acting all strange and that this footage might have been mistaken for, UFOs?
Yeah, it's exactly what the paper is suggesting. They argue that these plasmas, especially the ones that congregate near thunderstorms and oceans, they can look a lot like those classic UFO descriptions.
All right, so we've got thunderstorms, we've got oceans, we've got these electrically charged plasmas all juiced up and ready to go. But how do we get from there to, the Foo Fighters that pilots reported seeing during World War II? Those were some pretty wild stories.
Think about those incredible speeds and movements we were talking about. Those World War II pilots, they described seeing these glowing objects zipping around their planes, making impossible maneuvers. And guess what? Those descriptions line up eerily well with how plasmas behave.
It's like those old war stories are suddenly getting a scientific makeover. That's pretty amazing. What about more modern sightings? Like that incident in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico back in 2013. Didn't they capture something on video there?
Yeah, that was a wild one. A U.S. Customs and Border Protection aircraft managed to film this object. It was glowing, changing shape, and basically moving in ways that no known aircraft could.
So what are you saying? Are you saying this was a plasma too?
That's what this research paper is saying. It takes that footage and breaks it down, frame by frame. And you know what? A lot of what you see in that video, the movements, the luminosity, it all lines up with our current understanding of how plasmas act.
This is where things start to get really interesting, at least for me. We've got these plasmas potentially breaking all the rules of physics, zipping around, glowing, disappearing. But we're still talking about gas, right? So how could they actually affect an aircraft?
Ah, that's where the electrically charged part gets really important. Remember, plasmas are like walking, talking electromagnetic fields. And that energy, well, you can really mess with electronics. Imagine flying through a concentrated burst of that stuff. Your instruments could go haywire, your communications could get jammed.
So you're saying it wouldn't be just some flickering lights in the cockpit. We're talking about potentially dangerous situations up there.
You got it. In fact, the paper even suggests that plasmas could be the culprit behind some of those unexplained aircraft incidents we hear about.
Okay, now that is a little unsettling. It's not just the, wow, did I just see a UFO factor? It's the possibility that these encounters could actually be dangerous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, we've always been so focused on what we can see, the object, the shape, the lights. But what if the real key to understanding these UAPs is what we can't see, those invisible forces at play?
It's like we're only just now starting to scratch the surface of what's really going on up there. So this paper, does it basically slam the door shut on the whole idea of aliens? Are plasmas the be-all and end-all explanation for UAPs?
Well, the author's pretty careful not to completely rule out extraterrestrial life. They're not saying aliens don't exist, but what they are saying is, hey, maybe we need to pump the brakes a little bit before jumping to conclusions.
It's like that saying the simplest explanation is usually the best one. And in this case, plasmas, while strange, are certainly a lot more down-to-earth than little green men from Mars, wouldn't you say?
I'd say so.
Uh-huh.
But that's the beauty of science, right? You got to keep an open mind and explore every possibility. And that's what this research does. It's not saying aliens are out of the question. It's just encouraging a more, shall we say, rigorous and scientific approach to studying UAPs.
And that's what we're all about here on the deep dive. But there's one more twist in this paper that I got to bring up. It goes beyond just presenting evidence for the plasma theory. It actually delves into some of the arguments against it, too. So we've spent a good chunk of time now building up this plasma theory, and honestly, it's pretty convincing. But I'm curious, are there any cases of UAP sightings that even plasmas can't explain?
That's the thing about this paper. It doesn't shy away from the tough questions.
Mm-hmm.
It actually dives right into those head-scratching cases where plasmas just don't seem to fit the bill.
Okay, so hit me with one. What kind of UAP sighting would leave even the most die-hard plasma enthusiast stumped?
We've got those records, and they're not uncommon, of structured craft, things that look like they were actually built with, like, nuts and bolts, metallic objects with defined shapes, not just blobs of light. And these things, they're often seen moving in ways that even a supercharged plasma shouldn't be able to.
Yeah, the kind of movements that make you go, okay, no way, that's just a random atmospheric anomaly.
Exactly.
Mm.
And the paper acknowledges these outliers. It doesn't try to force fit every single UAP sighting into the plasma box.
So what's the takeaway then? Are they saying there's something else out there besides plasmas and maybe even, dare I say it, aliens?
The paper keeps the door open to other possibilities. It suggests that while plasmas might explain a good chunk of these sightings, there could be other, even stranger phenomena at play. And this is where things get really interesting because the paper goes on to suggest that NASA might be holding back on some pretty crucial information.
Hold on, back up a second. What do you mean holding back information? Are you suggesting a conspiracy theory here?
Well, the paper doesn't mince words. It directly accuses NASA of censoring some of that space shuttle footage we were talking about, specifically the segments that show these unusual plasmas in action.
Wait, seriously, they're censoring footage. Why on earth would they do that? What are they afraid of? People freaking out.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The paper throws out a few possibilities, like maybe they don't want to cause a panic, or maybe they're worried about revealing sensitive information about their technology.
Or maybe they've seen something in those videos, something about these plasmas that even they can't explain. Something that challenges everything we thought we knew about. Well, everything.
Now you're getting it. And that's what makes this whole field of study so captivating. It forces us to confront the unknown, to question our assumptions, to consider possibilities that might seem, well, out there.
It's like we're peering into this vast cosmic puzzle, and we've only just started to find a few of the pieces.
And some of those pieces, they don't quite fit the picture we thought we were building.
So where do we go from here? What are the next steps in cracking this UAP code?
The paper stresses the importance of continued research, obviously. But more importantly, it calls for transparency. We need scientists from all disciplines working together, sharing data, developing new methods of study. And we need government agencies to be more open with the information they have.
Because, let's face it, the more secretive they are, the more those conspiracy theories are just going to spiral out of control.
Absolutely. An open and honest dialogue. That's the only way we're going to separate the real deal from the, shall we say, more imaginative explanations.
Well said. This deep dive has been a wild ride. We've gone from aliens to plasmas to NASA cover-up, all in the span of, what, an hour?
And that's just scratching the surface, my friend. This is a rabbit hole that goes deep.
If you're as intrigued by all this as we are, and I know you are, do yourself a favor and check out the original research paper, UAP Extraterrestrial Life Plasmas.pdf. It's a real page-turner, trust me.
It just might change the way you look at the night sky. The next time you see a thunderstorm brewing or catch a glimpse of a neon sign, you might just find yourself asking, what else is out there? What else don't I know?
And that, my friends, is the beauty of it all. Keep those minds open, keep those questions coming, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.